Hello and welcome to Ready for Liftoff, a beginner's guide for how to sell on Amazon. I'm Shivali Patel, a brand evangelist at Helium 10 and an Amazon seller. And I'm here with my friend, Robert. How are you doing?
Hey Shivali, I'm doing great. Thanks.
Great to have you. So like many of you, Robert has been thinking about selling on Amazon, but he's been a little bit overwhelmed at all of the information and resources that are available. So today I want to help him and hopefully all of you get a better understanding of the Amazon opportunity, the Amazon space, and how Helium 10 tools can help you launch your business from your living room. Shall we dive in?
Let's dive in, Shivali, because I want to learn. I know there's a lot of info out there and I am overwhelmed. But, until like last week, I thought everything was sold in a giant warehouse in Seattle, so.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how many people don't realize that Amazon is a marketplace of third-party sellers. People like you and I who launch their business from their living rooms with a small amount of capital and just some time.
That's great. And capital's money,
yes,
right? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
It is.
So like when you started out, like me, what was that journey like?
Absolutely. So I was like you. I had no business background whatsoever. So I knew that I needed to start somewhere. I needed to do my research, get a feel for what opportunity I even wanted to begin with. So I wanted something that I would be able to do from anywhere in the world that would allow me the control of my own time and money. And so as I did my research, I realized that Amazon was one of the best opportunities out there. And so I did my research, I did my training, and of course, as you know, the rest is history.
Yeah. I mean, it worked for you. So I'm hoping to, draw your experience into me, because you did your training. So what's the training that we're gonna have? Like I cleared my schedule. So what do we got?
Yeah, so we have comprehensive trainings available like Freedom Ticket and Project X. But today, what I really want to do is just get into the foundational parts. And that's to really focus on three main subjects that are essential to getting your business ready for liftoff. Today, we'll cover an overview of the Amazon opportunity, things like why to sell on Amazon and who can sell on Amazon. Then we'll cover how selling on Amazon actually works. And lastly, how Helium 10 tools can power you to success.
That all sounds wonderful. So let's dive in.
Sure. So I think the first important thing to cover is why should you sell on Amazon? And there are so many reasons for that. There's lifestyle reasons, but there's also business reasons. And on the personal level, it's so much about taking back control, right? I know for me, I didn't want to have to wake up out of bed in the morning if I didn't feel like it. I don't want to have to show up to work. I don't want to clock in with a grace period or ask necessarily for a pay raise and feel uncomfortable, have those crucial, uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
So I loved the idea of selling on Amazon to begin with because of what it could provide me with, the potential of just having control over your time, your money, and the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to travel with my sister and be able to still generate income. So it was amazing for me. What about for you? What's that look like?
I mean, everything you've described, that would be wonderful in my own life. I like having a luxurious lunch. It'd be great to, have 2-hour lunches if I want, not squeeze it into a half hour, clocking in and out. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. And of course, on a business level as well, there's so much foot traffic that you can leverage on Amazon. So instead of having to find people to necessarily market your product to, Amazon has so much existing traffic, right? 50% of all searches in the ecosystem online actually begin on Amazon. It's the third largest search engine there is. And did you know that there are over 100 million Prime users in the United States?
Whoa, that's like a third of the country.
Right? And that's just Prime users we're talking about, not even like basic accounts or anything. And there's over 200 million users of Prime users in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, people are already going to Amazon to buy stuff.
Exactly.
So you just set up your product on Amazon and some of those people are going to buy from you.
Right. So you're basically taking in parts of the profit.
I like that.
Yeah. And it legitimizes you immediately too, right? You already have the credibility because you're on a site that everybody knows.
Yeah, you're on Amazon.
Exactly.
But the people who are selling on Amazon, like what type of people are doing that?
Yeah, so it's really available to anybody, whether you're just getting out of college and you're thinking about starting your own business, and that was me, that was my profile. but also somebody who's maybe looking for a career change. Maybe you realize that you want to do business and you don't have the business expertise, or you don't know where to start. You don't have the large capital that's required for like a traditional business. Or even if you're maybe 50 or 60 and you realize that I don't really want to be in the corporate world anymore, then this is still an opportunity for you that you can take advantage of.
That is a wide swath of people.
It is. It's people virtually from all walks of life. And that's the beauty about selling on Amazon. All it requires is an entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay. That sounds good, but I gotta be honest. I gotta be a little frank, Shivali.
Okay.
Cards on the table. How much time and money is this gonna take? Because I don't have $1 million to start a business.
Well, that's relative, right? So depends on you. How much time can you really afford to invest? Some people, that's 15 hours a week, right? And then for some people, it's maybe I only have 30 minutes a day or 30 minutes every few days, right? So it's really relative to what you can invest.
So let's say I have 15 hours a week to invest in this Amazon business, how long is it going to take me to like see returns?
Yeah, so you can get your business set up and running if you are investing 15 hours a week in like 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
But then let's say you were investing less time, right? Then it'll take you a little bit longer, but that's okay. There's no timeline for getting your business set up. It's still a very valid and exciting process.
Yeah, but other elephant in the room, the money situation.
Yeah.
What are we talking here?
So there are lots of different ways to sell on Amazon, but what we're focusing on here today is private label. And I'll get into what that means in a second. But to start a good private label brand, I would say minimum $2,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
$2,000?
Think about tuition. I mean, what does tuition cost these days?
I think it's like $75,000 a year.
Right? And then in comparison to that, it's manageable. And especially when you're comparing it to the traditional in-person stores that require the franchise fees, it's so much less than that.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for rent for your local donut shop or, whatever you're doing in person.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about it too, beginning, because as a 22-year-old at the time, I didn't have tons of capital just laying around where I could, just throw it at an idea. So $2,000 I would say, is a good start.
Okay, cool. So $2,000, 3 to 6 months, things are going to start to happen.
Well, if you put in the work for it, absolutely. So now that you have an understanding of the Amazon opportunity, let's talk about how selling on Amazon actually works.
That sounds like an ideal thing to talk about.
So I'll talk about product research and how to find a product in a bit, but once you have a product, there are a few ways that you can sell on Amazon. There's FBM, which is fulfillment by merchant. So what does that mean, right? Yeah. I'm sure you're thinking it.
Yes.
It's basically when you have your listing, right, and somebody goes to it and places an order. You would generally have to go and find your product. You'd have to pack it up and then figure out how to ship it to the customer, right? Yeah. And then maybe if they want to do return, then you have to figure out how to get the return in order.
That sounds like too much.
Yes, but you would be in charge of those things. If you're doing fulfillment by merchant, you have to figure out how to do them.
Okay.
But
is there a better way?
There absolutely is. And that's what we're here today to talk about.
Okay,
that's FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. So what happens there is you send your products to an Amazon warehouse and they take care of the picking the products and packing them and shipping them out and the returns.
Well, it sounds like FBA is the way to go. So what's the first step?
I'd say the first step is to get signed up with Seller Central. And that's the platform for all Amazon sellers where you can integrate with Amazon and manage core aspects of your business. So every seller has to do it, and the process is fairly simple. So you provide some basic information to get verified, and it helps Amazon also avoid fraudulent sellers.
Okay, well, I don't want to be viewed as fraudulent, so...
Exactly. So just get this done, and that way you can hit the ground running once your products are in.
Okay, so I got to sign up for Seller Central, put some basic info in there, and then after that, what do I do?
Well, now that you have a foundational understanding of the Amazon opportunity, and we've talked about how selling on Amazon works, then it's really just about how Helium 10 tools can help power your business and get you ready for liftoff.
All right, well, let's talk Helium 10.
Yes, let's get into it. We're going to explore 3 essential steps for every Amazon seller. And that is finding the best product to sell, sourcing that product from the best place, and then selling that product in the best way. And Helium 10 has tools to help you nail each of these steps.
Okay. Well, that's good because I don't know how to do any of that.
So when it comes to finding the best product to sell, here's something really important that you need to know. You don't have to be an inventor or create a new product.
I don't?
You don't.
So I don't have to go to my basement and concoct some new...
No laboratory needed.
Wow, okay. But then what am I going to sell?
Yeah, so Helium 10 actually has tools that can help find a product for you. And
what does that mean?
it means that we have tools that you can use to identify opportunity. And Black Box is one of our product research tools, which can help you identify unsaturated markets that showcase high demand, but low enough competition where you can compete so you can get a piece of the profitability.
Okay, so I'm not going to be competing against the big Nikes of the world or something. I'm going to be able to find a little sweet niche and really get in there.
You don't have to compete against the big Nikes if you don't want to.
Well, I do not.
Great. So let's dive into Black Box, which, by the way, actually sources from over 2 billion data points and monitors over 176 million products. Isn't that incredible?
That is. They have a lot of data.
They do. And I'd never be able to do that manually in my lifetime or even your next 8 lifetimes, right?
Right.
But let's get into that.
Great.
So this is Black Box by Helium 10, the Amazon product research tool that I recommend using. As you can see here, there are different marketplaces that you can look into and gain insight from. And there's 5 tabs here. Now, products can give you a great place to start, but I personally gravitate towards the keywords tab, simply because it gives you great insight into niches when you're searching on Amazon. So a good way to signify opportunity can be search volume.
Search volume. So that's how many times someone searches for this keyword?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, every month, exactly. So let's say here, maybe we want to type in, how about we do 3,000, which is like 100 times a day, I believe.
Mm-hmm. 3,000 divided by 30?
Yeah.
That math tracks?
It absolutely does. So I'm putting in 3,000 to 5,000 for search volume.
Okay.
As you can see, they have a monthly revenue option as well. So if you wanted to include a parameter for how much maybe each product is generating or how much that keyword is generating per month, you would be able to do that. I'm going to skip over that and go to pricing. So I'm going to type in a minimum of $15 and a maximum of $50.
And this is what someone would pay for this product on Amazon?
Yes. So when you are searching up a product and you see the price point, these are the price points that we are getting an average of. Now, when we search for this, right, let's say I put in the price point of 15 to 50, you will still get results sometimes that are a little bit out of those parameters, and that's just because we are looking for the average price.
Okay.
But again, remember, this is a keywords tracker. It's not just product-based, so you'll get an average.
Why are you thinking $15 to $50 is a good price point?
Yeah, so I picked 15 to 50 just because 15 gives you a good place for profitability. If we go too low, then your profit per product will be a lot lower. But also 50 gives you a good place of, if you think about how much money you're investing, sometimes if you go for the more expensive price points, you'll need a lot more capital and a lot more money invested to keep your business running.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
The luxury brand for Amazon.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. So that's why I picked 15 to 50. I feel like it's a good starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And then for review count, I'm going to put in a max of 100.
And that's, I'm guessing, because these products haven't really taken off to get like 5,000 reviews or something. So we can they're in our punching weight, or fighting weight.
Exactly. In a way, I like to think about it just, if you're going to get started, right, and you're a brand new seller, you're going to be coming out of the gates with 0 reviews. And you want to be able to compete with the products that are already there. So when you're typing in 100 max for review count, right? And again, this is just how I'm inputting it. I don't want anybody watching this, or Robert, I wouldn't want you to go in and be like, yep, this is great, right? But this is a good way for you to realize that there are certain parameters you can put in based on what is comfortable for you, right? And this right here, I'm gonna put it at 100 reviews. So the top products will on average not have more than 100 reviews.
Okay, so let me just look at this. We got search volume 3,000 to 5,000 a month. So at least 100 people are searching this every day. We're saying that whatever these products are between $15 and $50, and they all have fewer than 100 reviews.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna actually use, so this is the part that I love about Black Box. So you see where it says competitor revenue, right? So I'm gonna select more than 2,500 and then put in a minimum of 5. So you might be wondering, what does that mean? How is that different from what we've typed in above? So this means in the top, when you type in a keyword, right? Like when you're typing in something in that search bar on Amazon, the top 10 products that show up, right? I'm putting in a minimum of 5. So at least 5 of the top 10 products will be generating more than $2,500 in revenue.
A month. Okay.
Yep. And then for competitor reviews, I'm going to put less than 150.
Okay.
And at least 6 of the top 10. And I'm just picking these numbers at random.
Okay.
Okay. And then obviously you can see that there are other parameters here. You can pick category. Let's pick a few. Let's pick.
Ooh, I like electronics.
You like electronics? I'm going to skip over electronics.
Okay. Shivali, you lead the way.
Well, since I'm doing the product research right now, I'm going to opt for office products, patio, lawn, and garden. And then I think I'm going to go for sports and outdoors.
Okay, I would not have chosen sports and outdoors. Let's...
And see, and that's the beauty of Black Box. You'll be able to pick electronics when it comes time to do your product research, right?
Good.
So let's click search.
Oh boy.
It's like 31 phrases. It's
31?
quite narrow. Sometimes this will say, this phrase form will sometimes say over 200.
Oh.
Yeah. So it really just depends on what you inputted, but I feel like we did a pretty good job here since they came down quite narrow.
I do wonder what we would see if there were electronics on here, but let's see what we got.
Yeah.
And the phrases. Now, what does it mean by phrases?
So phrases are these are the keywords.
So keywords are the same as phrases?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So here we have, let's take a look at what our results are, yeah? I don't know what this is.
Moleskine is a hipster brand of paper, stationery.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
You learn something new every day. You know, I had no idea, but I feel like I'm going home with some new knowledge today. So yeah. I don't particularly want to be selling planners, so I will not. I will move on to the next one.
And that's branded, so
yes.
We couldn't be a Moleskine planner.
Exactly, exactly. So there's also wrap bandage waist trainer. Now this is 4 words, so this is a long tail keyword, which is really great because long tail keywords basically have better buyer intent. So what is buyer intent?
Yes.
I can hear the churning in your mind. And that's just when you're typing something in, right? Let's say you decided you were going to type in kitchen. Mm-hmm. You're probably just surfing the net for kitchen ideas. Like maybe you're looking for interior decor or whatever, but you might not necessarily, be thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy this. Mm-hmm. But if you're typing in wrap bandage waist trainer, that long tail keyword, just the length of that alone, but you really thought about what you wanted to purchase, right?
So long tail, it's long.
It's just
so
long.
I'm not just typing in wrap bandage. I'm saying I want a wrap bandage waist trainer to help train my waist, I guess. I've never seen this product.
Specifics. You get into the specifics, and when there's more words, the person has most likely thought about it a lot more and has more intent to buy. Okay. Which we like to see. Okay. So, oh wow, look at that. So we had wrap bandage waist trainer up here, and then down here we have waist magnet wrap. Is that the same thing? Let's take a look. It is.
Is this a new Is this a new exercise trend?
I could not tell you.
Waist wraps?
I could not tell you, but I do like that it showed up on here twice.
Yeah.
for the same parameters and different keywords. So let's maybe take a look at that, right? You can see that for both of these, this column right here is for search volume. And it's showing up over 3,000 times a month. People are searching for it for over 3,000 times a month.
For both of them. So that means...
So they're two separate keywords that you could try to rank for later on once you have the product. And then you can see, look at that revenue.
Whew. There's a lot of money in waist trainers. Bandages. 60,000 and 55,000. So that's 115,000. And that's a month?
That's a month.
Wow.
And these are for separate keywords that this keyword is generating.
Huh.
And then take a look at those reviews. Average of...
Yeah, that's a 3-star average review. I personally, Shivali, full disclosure, I don't buy anything less than 4.5.
Exactly, right? So what does this mean to you?
That means that there are some real crummy wrap bandage waist trainers on the market.
That you could probably go in and do better, right?
I think so.
Exactly. So this is a great place to start. And I feel like this really proves my point of how Blackbox can help you identify a great place to start with products. So it doesn't mean that this opportunity right here, right, that we identified with the waist trainer is perfect. It doesn't mean go full speed and run with it, but it means that this we can put onto the list of possible opportunities that we can validate. This waist trainer has the potential to be a great product opportunity, but it doesn't mean that we just have to run with it because it's the first one we found. I recommend that you find anywhere between 10 to 20 product opportunities and further validate them before you actually pick one.
Okay, that makes sense because you don't. Who knows? There might be a better product out there than the elastic waist trainer band thing. So okay, so I go back to Blackbox. I find 10 to 20 other great ideas. But then you said further validation. So what do I do to validate those ideas?
Yeah, so you can use additional tools. Helium 10's free Chrome extension tool.
Did I hear free?
You did hear free,
Wow.
and we like free. But the free Chrome extension tool actually is a great way to validate your product opportunities. So you can use things within the Chrome extension like the profitability calculator so that you know that there's good profit margins for your product. You can look at review insights so you can figure out exactly how you can differentiate your product. So you can go in with a better product in whatever market that you decide and really make a difference. But yeah, there's just so many different parameters that you can focus on to validate your product.
Well, let's say for sake of time, the elastic training band, really speaks to me and I've validated it. It's the best out of the 20 that I've found. That's what I'm going to sell. I'm going to go to Amazon. I'm going to sell the elastic band thingy. What do I do now?
Well, once you found your perfect product, the waist trainer in this case, then you want to move on to sourcing that product.
And sourcing means finding where someone can make it for me.
Right. So a manufacturer or supplier per se.
Okay.
And so I recommend Alibaba.
Alibaba. That I'm guessing that's a website?
It is, and it's quite a popular one actually. It's very much, you can think of it like the Amazon of finding manufacturers and suppliers.
Oh,
Kind of neat. But you can go into Alibaba and basically when you type in the product that you're interested in, it'll populate with a bunch of search results for different manufacturers or suppliers that are creating that product.
Oh.
And so you'll see different price points of like, okay, maybe it costs like, $2 to make, I don't know, an
elastic
brace.
band?
Yes, an elastic band, right? Yeah. So it'll cost you a certain amount and you'll see that there's price differences for each supplier. So once you see something that really appeals to you or speaks to you, then you can go out and reach out to that supplier and say, hey, I'm interested in this product. Maybe you saw something on Review Insights when you were doing the validation of product, as I mentioned earlier. And you say, hey, I realize this waist trainer thing, all the critical reviews were, it has, poor Velcro or the hooks didn't sit right, right? So then you want to go in and you say, oh, maybe I want better hooks, right?
Shivali, when I'm selling this waist trainer on Amazon, I want it to be the best.
Exactly.
I want the hooks to hook. I want the Velcro to stick. So I would go to Alibaba, I'd type this in, I'd see the manufacturers, and I'd find one to reach out to.
Several. I recommend reaching out to several. So because and here's why, right? Because when you're sourcing internationally, sometimes there can also be a language barrier, right? So you want to find suppliers or manufacturers that you not only can communicate well with, but you want to build a long-term relationship with, right? Because this is your business. It's going to be this baby that grows and is scalable, and you make this amazing thing out of it if that's what you want. But you want to have good communication skills. You want to make sure that the pricing you get is the best. So when you're reaching out to several suppliers and you're saying, hey, I need better hooks, I need maybe better material, right? Then you see, based on what each supplier is saying, what your best price point is. And then you can go back and say, hey, you know, this other person's giving me this price point. What about you? What can you do, right? So it's just about finding that perfect balance between the quality product, great communication and relationship with a supplier or manufacturer, and just having the best manufacturing experience.
Okay. So kind of the sense I'm getting, because there's so many products out there to sell, and there's so many manufacturers who can make it for you. So we're kind of we're finding 10 to 20 products, and then we're narrowing that down to one. But then we're going over to the manufacturers, and we're finding like 10 to 20 manufacturers, and we're narrowing that down.
So for me, I actually ended up picking, I believe it was 5 when I was looking for suppliers. So I reached out to maybe like, I want to say 5 to 10 suppliers and then narrowed that down. But again, for you, it's really more about spending the time that is required for you to find a supplier or manufacturer that you're comfortable with as well, right? So if you feel like you spoke to 5 manufacturers and you were like, yes, this is it. I found, the person that I want to go into business with, then that's it.
Okay.
But definitely more than 3 suppliers. Reach out to them.
All right. Well, let's check out this Alibaba.
Yeah, let's dive into it.
Okay.
So this here is Alibaba. As you can tell, visually, it's very much like Amazon. There's a search bar at the top that you can use to enter in any product you're interested in finding suppliers for, and many categories that you can browse through below in case you decide you want to surf the site a bit. But let's walk through an example so you can gain a better understanding of how the site works. Let's pretend we're interested in sourcing those waist bandage trainers. Once I type it in and hit search, the results would load and we would be provided with a handful of manufacturers who would be able to provide the goods for us. You can see that each seller provides an estimated range of price, a MOQ or minimum order quantity, meaning at least this many units must be purchased at one time, and some additional information that can serve to your benefit. As you begin to analyze listings, you'll often find customization details, product specification, company information, and previous transaction interactions alongside other relevant info. So based on your budget and what you have in mind, these are all things you'll want to reference before you begin reaching out to suppliers. Once you find a supplier that you want to make inquiries with about customizing packaging and logo, you can click Contact Supplier and then stay in touch via the messages icon in the top right corner. Now, some things to keep in mind. To ensure that you are finding quality suppliers you can trust, it's great to see sellers with some reviews. But also, protect yourself by selecting the verified supplier and trade assurance checkboxes in the left-hand paneling when you make your searches. Trade assurance is Alibaba.com's order protection service, which ensures that your product is not only produced to the quality that you expect, but it's also paid for securely and shipped out on time. If it's not, Alibaba's customer service representatives can help you through any dispute resolution process. And while disputes are uncommon, the unexpected can happen, so it's just good to be prepared upfront. Make sure that you are working with a seller that has protection services, so you can find that on your listing next to protection marked Trade Assurance. When starting out, you'll also want to keep all of your conversations with suppliers on Alibaba as opposed to other private third-party apps. That way, even chat history can be used as evidence. Now, verified suppliers are the sellers that have been inspected, assessed, and verified by a third-party inspection company. This is not to be confused with gold suppliers, who are suppliers who have premium membership on Alibaba. Again, remember, it's best practice to keep these checkboxes checked. However, ultimately, you'll want to narrow down potential suppliers based on a lot more than just those filters. Responsiveness, willingness to be malleable on product design, pricing, MOQ as in minimum order quantity, where the lower the better in case you want to test things out, and product and packaging options are all equally important. Now, you can go directly to Alibaba.com to get that information, or you can take a look inside of Helium 10's Chrome extension tool via Xray. Once the pop-up appears, just click Find Suppliers on Alibaba to see the same exact information as well.
Once you've found what you want to sell and you've sourced that product from a supplier that you trust and you want to go into business with, then it's time to sell your product on Amazon.
Whoa, it's finally happening. We're finally going to sell the product.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So how do I sell the product on Amazon?
You want to create a listing. That's where you want to begin. And this can really make or break your success.
Okay, well, those seem like high stakes. This is like a movie situation now.
They are, but you're in good hands with Helium 10 tools. And here are some things you need to take into consideration. You want to create a listing that indexes and converts well.
Indexing and converts.
Yes.
Those are two words I don't know.
Okay, so what I mean by indexing, think about it like this. When you are searching up waist trainers, when you're searching up waist trainers.
It's my Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's your hobby, I know.
Yeah.
But when you're searching up waist trainers, right, on Amazon, how far into the search results are you going?
Oh,
like how many pages? Or
I mean, for waist trainers, I maybe scroll half the first page.
Half the first page.
I need
right?
to buy a waist trainer now. I'm not going to go to page 2.
Exactly. So even for me, like when I'm searching up products that I'm intent on buying, I'm not really scrolling that far. So what that means is you want to be ranking your product higher, because the closer that your listing or your product is to the top of the page, the more sales you are probably making, right?
Yeah.
So indexing, when I say indexing, I really mean ranking higher on search results page. So if somebody like you goes in, types in a keyword or, whatever into the search engine of Amazon, you want to be showing up higher. You want to be indexing that product higher. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I want to rank higher. I want to index higher.
Exactly.
I want to be that first product on the page.
Exactly. And then when it comes to converting, right? When you're going into a retail store, you might have an employee come up to you and say, "Hey, how's your day going? What are you looking for?"
Where do you think I shop, Shivali?
I think you shop at places, hopefully with polite employees. But what I'm trying to get at is they can help you navigate that in-person experience. So if you're looking for something, they'll come and they'll help you find what that is, or maybe they'll help you, persuade you into a purchase, right?
Especially if they're working on commission.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But in an online setting, your listing has to do that talking for you. So on an Amazon listing, what are some things that you've seen on a listing? Photos?
Yeah, I've seen photos. I think I've seen some videos, bullet points.
Yeah.
Writing, text, words.
Yes, exactly, right?
Titles.
And those are the important things. So you want to, when I talk about converting, it's really more about when somebody goes and says, "Okay, I want waist trainers," sees that your listing is at the top of the page, clicks on that listing. You want to get whatever they're looking at on that page to convert, that you want them to get actually to the buy now or like add to cart button.
I see. So you want to rank or index high, so then you're one of the first products that show up on the page. Then when someone clicks your product, they go to your page listing, your product listing.
Exactly.
And it's so compelling that they're going to choose my waist trainer workout thing compared to others. They'll convert.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So there are some Helium 10 tools for indexing and converting that you can take advantage of.
Oh.
So it's not like you're pulling everything out of thin air. There's actually data to help you drive that success forward.
I appreciate that, Shivali, because once again, I don't know how to index or convert.
Yeah, so some of those tools, and I'll briefly mention them here. I won't get super in depth. I'll let you guys get to the comprehensive training for that. But some of those tools that you would be able to use are like Magnet and Cerebro to find keywords that have enough opportunity for you to go in that there's demand for, that people are searching up, but maybe don't have the biggest or largest pool of competitors that you can really go in and rank high for.
Okay.
So Magnet and Cerebro for indexing. And when you're writing the actual listing out, like the bullet points you mentioned in that text, some great tools that you'd be able to use there are like Frankenstein And I know I like that name too, but Frankenstein, scribbles, and then the index checker to make sure that you are indexing for the words that you use to convert as well.
Okay.
Well, those are the fundamentals of how to start selling on Amazon. And how are you feeling about all of that now, Robert?
I'm feeling a lot better than before. That it was very intimidating, but you really clarified a lot of things. And now I'm excited that there's an actual path for me to start selling on Amazon.
You know, I know how it can feel in the beginning, but this is a great starting point. And this is just the starting point. To truly be successful, I encourage you to do your homework. I recommend Freedom Ticket by Helium 10. It's the best FBA training that there is on the market, and it's taught by Kevin King, who is an e-commerce legend in the field.
That's cool.
Yeah. You'll learn everything that you need to about launching and growing your business on Amazon.
All right, I'll check that out.
Also check out Project X, where Bradley Sutton and Tim Jordan actually discover brand new products to sell, and you can sit and watch as they go through the whole journey step by step.
That also sounds like something I will check out.
Yeah, and it's important to know that, Helium 10 recognizes that entrepreneurship can be a very isolating experience. So they have a community to help support you every step of the way.
That's a relief. It is good to know I'm not going to do this on my own.
For sure. It's invaluable to have a community that you can, reach out to with questions and thoughts and concerns. And we actually have Facebook groups for our members. The Helium 10 blog is a hugely useful resource for our sellers. And we also have the Serious Sellers podcast, which is the industry's most popular podcast there is for Amazon sellers.
Wow. Those are a lot of resources. I want to thank you again, Shivali. This has been so helpful. If you excuse me, I'm going to go check out Black Box and find some more elastic-based products.
Okay. Thanks for being here, Robert.
Glad to.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to look out for more content on our YouTube channel to help you along your Amazon journey. Subscribe and hit the bell to get notified when new content goes live. There will also be additional links and information in our description below for Freedom Ticket, our award-winning FBA training course, and other Helium 10 resources for beginners as well. As always, we look forward to reading your thoughts and feedback in the comments below. Thanks for watching.